I'm going to show you how I remove the background of my images for my YouTube thumbnails, and I'm going to be using Adobe Express, the sponsor of today's video. So thank you to Adobe Express for sponsoring this video. Let's dive in and take a look and get those thumbnails designed. Here we are in Adobe Express. We're going to come over to the quick start button and we're going to type in YouTube and we're going to choose the thumbnail option. So this is our thumbnail, and down the side here we've got all of the YouTube thumbnail templates. And this is what I like about Adobe Express, is all of these templates give us kind of like a starting point. I think I kind of like this one here. Okay, yeah, I'm liking this one because I'm liking it's got the cutout of the background of this person here, and then it's got some nice kind of like text and things like that. So we're going to do that. We're going to add a page, and I'm going to choose the same size. Now this is just kind of like my workflow. I kind of like to have keep the template there and then kind of like build my thumbnail using the images and the elements from the thumbnail and bring them over. But what I've done is I've actually uploaded some images of myself. So we're going to come up to the uploads option. Now, one of the ones that I thought about using was this one. So we're going to come over, we're going to click on the image, and then we're going to click on the remove background. Now, I really like the remove background option inside of Adobe Express. It works really well. On this occasion, you can see there though, because of the way the focus has worked on the image that I've taken, it's actually kept some of the elements from my background in there. So what we can do on these is actually come over to the erase option, and then in the erase option, we've either got a quick selection or we've got a circle brush. Now the quick selection is going to allow us to come over and quickly select some of those items. But occasionally you can see as we've got the size of this brush, it's actually taken away some of my head there. So we can zoom in, we can change the size of the brush. Now sometimes this will work, for parts of the video. So you can see there, I can come in and start quick selecting those. But you can see I need to kind of like get in a little bit closer there and kind of refine this a little bit. So we're going to come over to the circle brush. Now we can change the size of the circle brush and also the hardness. So to start off with, I'm just going to kind of like go full hardness, delete this bit here. I could change the size of the brush and make this so much easier. So we're going to choose that. And then we're going to dial down this hardness a little bit to be a little bit softer. And then we can zoom into the side of my head. And we can see there that we can now, we need to put a little bit more hardness, I'd say, on there. Let's say 50% hardness. And we're going to come in and erase that. We're going to, actually, I think we need a little bit more hardness on the edge there. There you go, that's going to be better. Okay, and we can come in and change the size of this brush down a little bit more to be a smaller brush. And it's just about kind of like coming in and refining those edges that little bit to make this look better. Remember, we're really zoomed in right now. So when we zoom out, now you can see we've got a really good image there of me, and we click done. And there we go. Now we've clicked on done. We've got our image to start building out our thumbnail. Now I do have a few other images of myself. So if I just come over to my stuff, come over to my uploads, I can then choose some of the other images. Let's say I might want to choose this one. Oops, I've already added it to the page there. Okay, and now we can just click on that remove background. And we can see here again, we've got some elements down in the corner. Come over to the erase option and we can choose the quick selection. And again, we can change this brush size up a little bit. Okay, we're going to choose quick selection over here. And you can see this time, now we're using that quick selection. It's actually done a really good job. There's a little bit here. And now I want to get inside this part of my arm. So I'm going to change the brush size right down there. And you can see it's done a really good job. If you wanted to, you could even zoom in right inside there, inside my finger. You can see it's a really good job of removing that background. So we could use either of these right now. We're going to click on done, but there is another one that I want to show you. If I come to uploads, again, how good this is. We're adding this one here from when I was at an Adobe event early in the year. And we're going to click on remove background. You can see how complicated this background actually is. It's got all of the mirrors on there, and it's got all of the globes and everything else like that. But it's going to do a really good job on this one. And you can see there, it's actually kept some of the globes at the side of me, but it's done such a good job. And it kind of like kept most of the strings in here. But let's say we didn't want that. We can either come in and we can crop, or we can, as I've shown you before, we can come in, click on the erase tool, and again, we can just choose to erase those just like that. And then I've got another, click on done. And then I've got another image that I could use on my YouTube thumbnail. Now the one I'm going to go with is this one here, but obviously we want kind of like just cropping that in there, in on me. Okay, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Now the colour's looking a little bit washed out here, so we can come over, we can click adjust, we can increase the contrast, increase or decrease the brightness, add a little bit of saturation on there, not too much, and also a little bit of warmth. Again, not too much. We want to look natural in this, so we're going to click on the saturation. You can also increase the sharpness, and there we go. We've got our image of me. Now here, I'm going to click on delete on these two elements. Okay, we've got the background there of this person, and we just come over and we just detach the background. Okay, and we can see we've got that there, and now we've got this text that I want to kind of like copy over. And as I say, this is just the way I use templates. And we're going to come over and we're going to click and we're going to type remove background. Then we've got the background element here. So I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. Now I want to change the background to one of my brand colors. So I'm just going to click on the background here, and I'm going to choose the lighter color for this. Now normally I have kind of like a grungy looking color or overlay. So we're going to come over to my stuff. I'm going to find one of my previous thumbnails under my stuff. And then what I can do is actually choose to just add this in as a page. That allows me then to grab this background element. I'm just going to copy and paste that over. And you can see that that's added it on top. I'm just going to use the side panel here to drag that down. I want to kind of have it behind myself and also the text, because having that overlay on me looks a little bit strange. So we're going to have that. That's pretty much the background removal tool demonstrated inside of Adobe Express. Now all that I need to do is come in and change the size of these. I'm just going to use the selection of in the side panel here to select this group of text to make this bigger, and I'm going to change the size of the Adobe Express logo, and I'm going to put that in the middle. And I think that's it, pretty much done. That's my thumbnail that I'm going to go with. I might tweak this. I'll try a couple of other different styles, kind of like play around with it a little bit, but that's showing you how you can remove the background of an image, then use the refining tools to refine those for your YouTube thumbnails, and using the templates inside Adobe Express to show you how you can kind of like take inspiration from a template and design your own YouTube thumbnails. Hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions, drop me the questions down in the comments below. If you want to try Adobe Express, there's also a link in there to try Adobe Express Premium. And until next time, thank you very much, and bye for now.